Get 'em up in the back row.
Hi all, Justin from Social Paintball here. Going to take you through my Living Legends 4 experience that I had at CPX Sports in Joliet, Illinois. The event was produced by Viper Paintball. Just had a blast. Viper's a really cool guy, and it was a fun time. When you, just kind of an overview of the field here, when you first get to CPX Sports, they have free parking out in their parking lots, and they were able to host the MPPL tournament as well as Living Legends 4. There's plenty of parking, so don't worry about that. And so you park kind of, you can't see it on the map here, but it's out in this area here. There's a few parking lots. And so you park, and then you enter in and register at their main building where there's a pro shop. It's down in this area in registration. And once you're all registered, you enter into the scenario fields through a gated area kind of here. And so in my case, I kind of went right and found where the Duke was and set up with the Tech PB Gypsies gang, which I was signed up as a team member on, and set my gear up there with them. It was nice, the Northern Gunmen, to give me a table spot there underneath their tent just in case it rained. So that's where I started out Saturday morning, and so that's where my pit was. Now, there were two sides here. The Duke of New York was generaled by Wolf. Like I said, I was a part of that team. That's the blue team. And on day one, the blue team's base was down by Inwood on the map there. And the Warhammer team, which is the other side, is red all weekend. And for this first day, their base was down by the Lower East Side. And so at CPX Sports, you have this road that runs kind of between these 2 points. You can see it in white here, all the way down. The road runs down here, and there's a turnout on each end, and they have a bus that runs. And it's awesome when you can catch the bus, but many people end up walking because the bus isn't always running, and you just want to play as much as possible. It isn't that far to walk, at least until you start getting really, really tired, and the bus is awful nice to have. So here's what the bus looks like. Mad Max kind of looking thing. So the bus is pretty awesome. At each of these locations on the map, there's basically a slapstick, which would mark whether the red team or the blue team was in control based on who slapped it last. It's made out of PVC pipe, and that's how you could determine kind of who owned that area. There were rumbles that were special missions, and for the rumbles there were these special boxes. You'd put your finger in on the blue or the red kind of side of the button, and it would record the amount of time the red team or the blue team had pressed that button on a digital timer, and the refs could review at the end of the game to see who had the most time on the box. And there's some special areas in CPX Sports that are kind of cool. You have here on the map, they're labeled Upper East Side, which is actually called Bedlam, and here's some shots of Bedlam for you to check out. It's really, really nice kind of downtown area. In Bedlam, there's 1 second story area. It's really cool. As a first-time player at this field and at any field of this scale, it's just awesome to be able to play in Bedlam. And East Harlem on the map is actually called Armageddon at CPX Sports usually, and that looks like a kind of destroyed, ruined kind of city. And so those are kind of the two sides there, and that's where some special games like the dinner battle and the final battle are held. And so the other area that you need to know about when you come in to CPX Sports is the Chrono Range, and the Chrono Range looks like this. And the Chrono Range, they've got multiple bays for chronoing. They can get people through pretty quick, but it's good to chrono right away. So the air itself was set up in the kind of trailers, and they had 4,500 fills, and those were kind of in this area over here. So that gives you kind of a sense of the scale of this facility and some of its kind of base functions and where I was located and how I had to get around this map. So there was a safety overview with a stage area. It's kind of cool. So I got up early, of course, got all my stuff together and chronoed and aired up, and I was ready to go on the first insertion. So I basically walked all the way down the road here, following my friend Pinky from Tech PB, and we walked down in, and back here there's a netted off area. And then everyone went around and they all gathered at Inwood. So you'll see a big crowd of people on the video at Inwood. And that's where the first wave began its attack once the horn blew. And we cut through Washington Heights. And you'll see me make the tree line. At that point, you'll see me make my way through the woods up into Harlem. And so that's kind of the path for me in this game and how I started it. And let's see how it goes. So off we go. You can see Tech PB Mike definitely in the front. I think he made the tree line first, so he's a man of his word. And I'm kind of falling back. I'm not the fastest guy on the planet. By no means. I don't pretend to be. You can see Pinky over there on the left. Canadian flag. Looks like he might have lost his umbrella hat or had to take it off. So there's quite a few of the Gypsy Gang, Tech PB Gypsy Gang, running all in together there. There goes Cockerpunk and Bryce Lawson. And so just scouting through the woods here, looking at the pass, checking out, making my way towards Harlem.
You just shot me. Dude, come on, man. Friendly fucking fire. Huh?
And excuse the language, but I just got shot out my first
Is it gone?
first game by my own team member. In all fairness, it would have been easy for me to crawl up there and shoot them all, because when we got there, it was still red, or it wasn't claimed yet, so I don't think anyone quite knew what was going on. This guy just got hit. He's calling for a medic. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get flanked, because I knew there was a guy on the left side there.
You might be flanked. Probably gonna flank us.
So we're going to try to cover that side.
Oh, fuck. Watch
Nate.
out, don't jump in my fucking line of fire.
And I just got shot in the head. So I'm out. You can see that guy kind of jumped right up. Barely missed shooting him in the back of the head. Well, that could have gone a lot better. I'm sure there's been much better starts to Live in Legends 4, but there's nowhere to go but up from here. So I walked back from Harlem through Washington Heights and went through to the insertion point, which was still open, circled back around, and tagged up with the base. You just have to touch the base with your gun, and then you can head out again. So I headed back out. And this time, like the heck with the woods, had enough of that for a minute. Let me get into that city there. I came all this way from Maine. I gotta go check it out. So I crossed through Armageddon, and you'll see me come up on the hill here, and eventually cross down from the hill down in behind a little tactical van here, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So I've made my way to the Lenox Hill is the name of it. After you get through Armageddon, it's the hill that separates the two areas. Just taking some long ball shots here with the Apex. Can't remember if I got anybody with those shots or not. I'm sure I'm just bumping it up third notch or so. Seems to work the best on 3 clicks for long range stuff, at least for me.
Ref, this splatter? Okay.
And geez, that sounded like a hit right now, but at the time, you know, I must have thought it was come off that culvert or something. Maybe it did, but that's just how it goes with paintball. You'll know. I had the ref check me, so. Good to go here. I'm getting tired of hanging back. Camping out is it's not really my thing unless it's in the woods. I'm stalking somebody. So make my way here to the SWAT van.
There's a guy inside that bag. In here, in the window. The bars.
Just giving these guys an update on what I saw from the hill.
He was hiding in there.
Van looks like it's seen better days. What's going on? There's people inside that bank over there. You see they're raining some hate down on us there. So I'm thinking that's not a good place to shoot from. Let's find a better spot. And quite often people don't think about crawling on the ground or laying around on the ground. Probably, I noticed in Bedlam it's quite caked with paint, so that's probably why. But I'm gonna give it a shot. With that Apex 2, I actually have a shot right in those windows. Little did I know at the time that there's screens in there that they can kind of hide behind. So I was probably doing more of a suppressive kind of fire. I caught on after a little while.
I think I got the guy inside on that second window on the left.
One guy must have peeked out just a little too long. Really liking this town. Just amazing. Wish I had something like it closer to home. So it seemed to be working out. Couldn't see any reason to move until we cleared out that bank. They had shots right on our location. So what I want to do is kind of get some suppressive fire on those windows, keep their heads down in those windows so our guys can move up. I think I'm probably working that out right now.
Hey, if you guys are gonna move, let me know.
This was a problem I had all day, and I think it's just a general problem for large games where you don't train together. You just all show up, and it's hard not to play as an individual.
Hey guys, I think we can get inside that fucking bank or whatever the fuck that is.
And it's
two
awful
windows.
hard not to curse when you're used to playing outlaw
You
ball,
back him up.
apparently.
He goes first. Wait until I lay down cover. What? Yeah, he already called it clear.
I thought I was going to get punched for swearing, but he thought
The
I had.
old one.
He was checking on that shot, that hit that I'd taken earlier.
You guys ready?
One that was called Splatter. I thought it was Splatter. Right now I'm thinking it probably was a hit, but who knows.
I got you covered, man! I got you covered!
So there's a really fast kid there. He's kind of moving his way up. You can't see him. He's on the left. He's up against the building on the left.
We got one in the bag straight ahead of us!
We can't get him from the bank, but he's kind of moving up closer. We're trying to take that bank.
Take the bank!
So it's cool to have the numbers of a large
There's one right in the
scenario,
bag straight ahead of us. There's two windows. He's on the right one.
but not so
You
cool
watch
not,
the right, I watch the left. We gotta cover this guy.
not to have the organization of like unit commanders, you know,
Hey, Dad, you gotta
sergeants.
move up!
subunits so that you can coordinate actions together. It's probably why the teams all travel together, so they can do that kind of thing. But showing up as a solo guy,
Hey,
it's kind of frustrating.
you ready?
Spend a lot of time yelling at people.
Hey! Move up! Move up! Move up! Move up!
Most everybody's pretty good to work with, though. I think there's a tendency to hang back just because there's such a long respawn time. To walk back
Tell me
and
when!
get back out, it can take you 20 minutes easy, and then more if the insertion spot is close. So it really kills your playtime. I'm an aggressive player, so I spend a lot of time in the morning here walking. So they got me. All right, that was a little more fun. Didn't die right away. Didn't get shot by my own team. So I didn't realize I could cut out through the fence. Still a new guy making mistakes. So I walked all the way back to the insertion point, and it was actually open. And there was my gang was there, Tech BV Gypsies, and our CO was there, Willie. And so I followed the gang up in through, and I cut through the woods. They went around here. I met up. You'll see Willie right here. We met up this point here, and it turns out there was a tank moving up the road. And I got really excited because I never played against the tank before. So let's check it out and see how I did. Okay, I tagged up the base and see Willie up ahead. And the word on the street is Willie said there's a rumble going down in Harlem in just a few minutes, so we're all heading down to
Want to cut across the woods, Willie?
find Harlem.
Hey,
And run into Sarah VW and Stick to Drum,
what?
Tech PB, so that's cool.
You seen it? What? Where is it? Willie! This guy says he knows where the box is. This guy. Take us to the box.
Cut down by the back fence, come all the way in the back side of
We're going to Hell's Kitchen. Is that where you thought? Huh? Down here to the left? Yeah. Okay.
I guess we're headed to Hell's Kitchen, sorry about that. It turns out there will be a rumble in Harlem, but I think it gets called in. So we're heading to Hell's Kitchen, so I decided to cut across. I'm not going to follow around there. And you'll see I meet right up with them, no problem. And this little crew's kind of moving on the other side of the road there. When we spot the tank, just coming down the road. And you can see it way down the road there. This tank, I guess, is actually fired remotely from inside the tank with like little cameras. It's kind of cool.
Should be right around here somewhere.
Slapstick?
Yeah.
There's one straight ahead.
Okay, so that's the one we got to get to blue and keep down blue, guys. Don't anybody off the CPX? Not that I'm
I
aware
think
of.
Harlem's on that hill with the slapstick, isn't it?
Really? I think we have it.
There's a hill back there with a stick on it. I think that's Harlem.
No, I think we have that slapstick. I think so.
It was on a hill back there. If you cut through the woods, it's on a hill over there.
No, Harlem's is down in this side of the road. So
No,
we
it's
got to
not.
get to the blue. Harlem's
We are-
right there.
That's on the other side of the road.
Oh,
We took a left, remember?
Just trying to help Willie out here. I got a
think
mini
it's up on a
map.
hill, Willie.
Give a shout out to Northern Gunman Murph.
Cut through the woods back here, Willie. There's paths going up to a hill. There's like an old fallout shelter.
And you all know why I'm familiar with that hill. It's the hill where I got shot. So I was pretty sure I knew where that was. And let Willie know. So I think he's kind of going to gather everyone up. And they're just heading down across the road there. Tank's still moving up on us. Another Tech BB there. I think that's Bryce Larson. And some people just lighting up the tank now.
It's coming in.
And I decided I want some of that. Just can't help myself.
Out! It's out!
I'd taken off the Apex because I thought I was going to be in the woods for a while. And for this tank, I definitely want a long shot, so taking advantage of that quick release from Deadly Winds there. Snap the Apex right on, and ready to go. So you can see the tank in the way back in the middle there, moving up the road. This player's running out from it right now. And that tank's already bouncing paint in on us as he's moving. They have a certain speed limit they have to follow. I think it's less than 10. It might be 5 miles an hour. It's 5 or 10 miles an hour. I can't remember exactly. So they can't just drive right up on you. And there's a safety zone around the tank. Willie's going crazy, rocking the tank.
Watch the left, guys! Watch the left!
And I'm just dialing in the Apex because
Tank's rolling, Willie! Heavy gunner!
getting ready to have some fun. So everyone's pulling back. I just can't help myself. I gotta light that tank up. So I'm just nailing that tank. You can see him bouncing paint on me. Bouncing paint in front of me there. It's lit up.
Sun hit. Can I move?
I called medic. And I think he thought I said hit because he called me out. So again, it's just the way it goes. The refs can't be everywhere all at once. There's a lot going on, and there's misunderstandings all the time. So ref called me out, so I'm out. Alright, so I got shot out and had to walk all the way back to the insertion point. And I believed it was closed for a little bit, so I had to hang out for a few minutes and then tag up to the base. And I headed back out. And this time I kind of headed out on my own a little bit. There was a pack of people with me, but they kind of fanned out. So I entered the woods around here, if I recall, and I had a group with me that kept going. And we were supposed to go to Harlem because I believe we were towards the tail end of the rumble at that point. And so I kind of was scouting out ahead of that group, at least I thought, and made it to probably around here, and I heard a lot of chatter over in this area, and I almost got shot out by a group that was walking in. I don't think it was the same group, but it was still my team. So some group was up in this direction, and so they followed back down behind me, and I kind of made my way crawling down into this area here. Heard a lot of chatter, and things kind of happened from that point on. There's a path somewhere in this area here, and I kind of crawled up to that, and you can see how I'll crawl in there and took out a couple people, and basically got left hung out to dry when I yelled back for the group that was behind me. I think they must have had another encounter that drew them that way, and they didn't quite realize what was going on at Harlem. So let's look at the footage.
Yeah, I noticed.
So getting shot at by blue again.
There's chatter on our right.
It's all good.
I'm thinking they're down this way on the road. I've been sneaking through here. There was chatter over here, but I'm not sure what team was. I think it was blue. Yeah, I always assume red. Oh, let me check. I'll go right.
So I think there was only maybe one red player there, but there's kind of a group of them on the road is what ends up being the case. So there must have been a couple of scouts up in the brush like we were doing. So I'm kind of just checking it all out, trying to get an idea exactly who that person was. Here it's okay to move now. I'm crawling. And I usually move when I hear shots going nearby. It's a good time to make some noise and move. Usually everyone's looking towards the shots. So I'm just creepy crawling. Belly crawling on down towards the road here. You can hear that that gang ran into some action. I don't know if it's them. I think it's actually down on the road that's going on. So if it was that guy, then he's dead. I took him out. He might have been shooting up the road at them. Overshot him a little bit, I think. Not too bad. Probably took 3 hits. Sorry about that, bub, if you're watching this.
I couldn't see you!
And I just shot a ref. Yep, day 1. I'm gonna learn a little bit of everything. The hard way, as usual. But you can see they really, I could see movement, but I couldn't really tell. People wear all kinds of stuff here. It's not like I could see his ref jersey or anything. And unfortunately, he gave away my position. So I'm thinking I gotta get out of there. And I thought I'd move towards where the blue group was. Guys on my team. So I get another guy right there who's down on the road, and now there's a bunch of them on me. You can see they're just splattering the heck out of that. You can see my group right down there in the clearing. So I was yelling for them.
Yeah, I know.
And just got popped by that guy on the bush there.
Thanks for listening!
And that's it. So walking back down that trail, and you can see there's a whole mess of red players on Harlem. So that's it for day 1. My camera shortly died thereafter. I went back to the pits and kind of rehydrated, got some food into me, and basically played the rest of the day and had a bunch of good games. They just got better and better as the day went on. Just sorry I couldn't catch them on vid for you, but day 2 is coming up in our next video. Look for it on social.